Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am up in the mountains in Colorado, and woke up to some confusing, incomplete stadium news that I thought I would bring you guys. You might hear some wildlife. There's some birds flying around, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. But catch you guys up on the latest. There is not a resolution, shocker. But if you want to support the show, hit the subscribe button. Even on vacation, bringing you guys a video. Hope everybody's doing well. I'll be back in the studio a week from today. Still have some other videos we pre-recorded, so be on the lookout for those. But thought I would hop on the old laptop and knock one out for you guys. So there is no resolution in Illinois, despite what they're calling a Hail Mary effort. And it does seem like there was some progress, at least in the Senate. They passed a bill that essentially would have allowed the Bears to build a publicly owned stadium to avoid having to pay property taxes in any Cook County or in any county in Illinois that has 70,000 residents or more in it. That would include Cook County, the Arlington Heights property. I know there's some confusion on that. Like, technically, they're not in this exact spot. My understanding is that part was amended, so this would have applied to the Arlington Park property as well, which, of course, is the area the Bears own and have been shooting toward a goal of ideally building toward since they purchased it over 3 years ago, despite some, flirting with the city and now Indiana and some other spots. The last several months, Arlington Heights and Hammond has been the focus, but the House adjourned and did not even vote on it. Does that mean it just wouldn't have passed anyway? Does that mean that they ran out of time? To me, it feels like there's a lack of urgency once again, and obviously there's a lot of angles to this. I'm not a local government expert, so I'll leave that to the professionals who do that. Brendan Moore's been a good follow on Twitter. Go follow him. He's been breaking it all down. I've been retweeting a lot of relevant tweets. It was a 150-something page bill. And so now the Senate passed it, but the House adjourned, and the next time they can come together and vote on something like this is in November. Now, I have also come to learn that there can be what's called a special session in the summer, which I believe would be on June 21st. So maybe they call a special session and vote on it then, and the House passes it, or maybe there's some minor tweaks then that gets everybody on board. And, you would think if that happens, Arlington Heights would be the answer. Now, there's also an angle to this that, again, I don't know the nitty-gritty details, but essentially – it couldn't really begin until 2027 anyway, if it passes. So I don't know how that impacts the Bears and what they want to do with their timeline. If they get everything they want, maybe they would deem that acceptable so they can finish their traffic study and get some other things set in stone, and then get the shovel in the ground, as they say, next summer. And if it's a three and a half year project, open 2031, that's probably what that would look like, which, at this point, I think we would all take. Like, if we were told today, hey, the new stadium will be built in 2031, I think we'd probably just take it because of how drawn out of a process this is. But now we're kind of in this just unknown period. Don't really know what's going to happen. The Bears put out a statement saying, quote, "We will finalize our evaluation of both Arlington Heights and Hammond and remain on the late spring, early summer timeline that we have previously communicated. We will provide an update when we have a decision to share." So summer begins June 21st. So again, could you get that late June, early July special session in Springfield? Certainly possible. Could the Bears just say, you know what, we're sick of this, we're going to Hammond? Also possible. I think we've now hit the crossroads of what I've been saying the last couple of weeks of, it seems like Indiana is serious and not a bluff. I think we're about to find out if that's true, because if they don't call a special summer session in Springfield, are the Bears going to wait until November, or are they just going to move on? So we'll talk about that in a little bit more coming up here in just a moment. But want to shout out our sponsor, Prize Picks. We are presented by Prize Picks. Appreciate them for sponsoring today's show. The finals are almost here. Playoff hoops. Can't wait. Got a 3-player lineup. 20 to win 120. Jalen Brunson more than 25.5 points. Julian Champagny more than 2 3-pointers made. He's been fantastic. And if he just makes 2, that at least pushes, and it would turn to a 2-player lineup. And then Karl Anthony Towns, less than 34 points, rebounds, and assists. Going up against Victor Wembanyama now, that's going to be a bit of a challenge to hit the glass as hard as he has been as of late. The way Prize Picks works, you pick more or less on player stat projections, and if you hit, you win money. I've hit some baseball lineups recently. Excited to get the basketball finals going once again. So get going today. Download the app. Link is in the comments and description. Use code HMA once you sign up and play your first $5 lineup. That's going to get you an additional $50 in lineups. Code HMA. $50 in lineups once you sign up and play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Okay, let's get back to the stadium stuff, and then we'll get out of here. I am on vacation. So I think we're going to know something. I mean, early summer to me, June 21st, I don't know. Like, to me, you have to make some kind of announcement if you're the Bears before training camp. Like, I do not want this seeping into another season. And obviously there will be some things that, come out during the season. But if you don't even have a decision on where you want to be by the time training camp starts or these preseason games start in August, it's like, it's just hard to take this thing seriously anymore. I think if you're the Bears, you have to you got to have some pride in this situation. Be like, you know what? We're just going to take this into our own hands. And I don't know how you apply more pressure on Illinois at this point. I don't know if some kind of meeting with some legislators like, hey, if you guys don't call a summer session and get this through, we're going to Indiana. I'm not sure the mechanics of that and how that would work. I think it's clear the Bears want to stay in Illinois. The question is, do they only want to be in Illinois? Are they only willing to be in Illinois? Like, are they just so fed up at this point that they actually would go to Indiana? If I was an owner of a football team, I'd be pretty pissed by now. So I don't know. It's frustrating because it did seem like there was maybe something going to get through last night, and it didn't get to a vote on the House for whatever reason. So I don't know where this goes. I'm tired of covering it and talking about it. I say covering it. I mean, you got these local political writers like the Brendan Moore guy I mentioned again. He's been a great follow during this. I mean, he's up till the sun comes up because they're voting on so many things like the state budget bill and all this other stuff. So, yeah, it's crazy. I'm glad I'm not in that world. Just doing this stadium stuff, these occasional updates has driven me crazy. I can't imagine covering local and state government on a daily basis. So kudos to those guys. They're built different, I guess. But yeah, so you guys let me know down in the comments. Where does this go? Do they go to Indiana? Do they find a way to stay in Illinois? Do the Bears continue to stay patient and just kind of, to me, if they wait, like I'll say this, if they kind of are just willing to wait till November, because they just released in their statement, they're staying on the early summer timeline. If they're willing to wait until November, like if a summer session doesn't get called, then Indiana was a bluff. Like I've said, I don't think it is, but if they're willing to wait until November, I think at that point you have to call Indiana a bluff because Indiana's ready to play ball. They've been ready to play ball. And by the way, the thing the Senate passed is pretty similar to what Indiana passed. So it looked like this was on a good trajectory. Now, the only slight difference, according to my understanding, is that in the Indiana agreement, it's initially a publicly owned stadium, but eventually the Bears would own it. In the Illinois case, I don't think there's specific language of that. Now, I saw Adam Hogue tweet out, eventually the Bears would likely own it. So maybe there'd be something where, once Soldier Field is paid off and other things or whatever, then you own the stadium or something like that. I don't know what the nitty-gritty details of that would look like, but everything else is pretty similar to what Indiana has passed and brought forward. But again, the House didn't vote and pass it. So do we get there? Does the summer session happen? I don't know. Do the Bears wait one more session until November? that would kind of tip their hand that it's Illinois or bust. So does Illinois ask for more at that point? I don't know. So you guys predict Indiana, Illinois. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to go enjoy some nature. So hit that subscribe button. Bear down. We'll see you soon.